Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. Content is intended to provide accurate information, however, is not intended as financial, tax, or legal advice. Please consult a financial, legal, or tax professional for specific information regarding your individual situation. Opinions expressed and provided are for general informational purposes only and should not be considered a solicitation for the purchase or sale of any security.
Welcome to Protect and Grow with Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns of TJ Stearns Incorporated. Trust, respect, and results. TJ Stearns Incorporated focuses on comprehensive financial planning and benefits.
And welcome into the program. This is Protect and Grow, Chicagoland Retirement with Chicagoland's CFP certified financial planner, Tim Stearns, president and founder of TJ Stearns Inc. Tim, we always appreciate your time and the guidance that you provide to Chicagoland area savers and investors here on the program.
Peter, thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure, Tim. And from time to time, Tim, we get some questions submitted. Now, sometimes people want specific advice and direction, and they come in to speak with you about that and discuss their questions. But every once in a while, we'll get some questions. And a lot of times we get some common questions that are sort of on related themes. So today on the program, wanted to address some of these commonly submitted, commonly asked questions that are on the minds of a lot of savers and investors out there.
Yeah, you and I have talked about this before, but if someone's asking it, a lot of people are asking it. It seems to be the same run-of-the-mill questions that people are very, concerned about as they're getting ready to retire, or even if they've just started retirement. So let's lead off with the first one. One of my clients, Matt, I'll call him. What are people's thoughts on when to start Social Security for early retirees, 62, when virtually all their retirement savings are in qualified accounts? Well, I would tell him that, be careful, because when you take it at age 62, you're taking it at basically 75% for the rest of your life. Once you get to full retirement age, they won't, increase you back up to what it would have been at age, for myself, 67, but a lot of people out there 66 in so many months, depending on when they were born. So I would tell people, make sure that you do a Social Security optimization report, and those reports can really, spend it down to you so you know exactly what you're leaving on the table and what you're taking with you. Because what you're going to do, especially if you're married, it's going to affect your spouse too, right? So you need to be careful on that stuff too.
And Tim, you have shared some of those generic Social Security reports and analysis with me. And it's really amazing how much income we can receive over our lifetimes cumulatively from Social Security. I mean, in the case of a married couple, to average life expectancies, oftentimes it's about $1 million in income. But the difference between kind of a rush decision versus one where we actually work to try to optimize the scenario, and what is shown there in those Social Security reports and analysis, the difference can be several hundreds of thousands of dollars. And, our expenses for supporting our lifestyle are probably going to be the same, regardless of whether we get more from Social Security or have to pull more from our personal assets. So I think the investment of time to get that Social Security report and analysis, a well worthwhile investment to see the difference that can make in how much we are receiving from Social Security.
Right. And the only way you'll know that is if you do a report. I just spoke to a person the other day who had never even thought about doing a report. And, his wife is a teacher, so he has a windfall provision. They weren't familiar with what that term meant, which would lead me to another question that I got from a person I'll call Debbie. My friend is collecting a teacher's pension. Her ex-husband of 17 years died from COVID. Social Security sent her a letter that she'll be receiving a Social Security benefit due to her husband's death. How does that work? And this all comes into play with the windfall provision. If you're married over 10 years, you can actually tap into your ex-spouse's Social Security record. It doesn't involve them. You don't have to talk to them or anything like that. But a lot of people don't know that. And then if you get married, that will stop. So a lot of people don't know that. So I'm very proud of us here at TJ Stearns, because Social Security and Medicare have so many moving parts, and they change quite consistently each year. little nuances, but those nuances can make a real difference. So we are always trying to help people. We stay up on it so that they don't have to, and that they don't make errors that are going to cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars over the time being.
And we are changing a few of these names, in fact, all of the names, and occasionally a little bit of the context of the questions to remove very personal and specific information. But these questions at a high level are many of the questions that savers and investors across Chicagoland face, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got more that we'll cover. Sometimes we don't get questions. Sometimes we get articles submitted for our take, or just comments that people want to hear addressed. So you are always welcome to do that. If you'd like to, go to tjstearns.com, tjstearns.com. That's the website where you can communicate with Tim Stearns, Chicagoland's certified financial planner here on Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement, or you are welcome to give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. You can also find them online on your favorite social media outlets, and you can make comments or request some help, guidance, and assistance there as well. So again, 800-640-2256. But Tim, Social Security being the cornerstone of retirement that it is, make the most of it. Don't just rush out and get it as a knee-jerk kind of reaction. You want to put some thought into it, because it can literally mean the difference in several hundreds of thousands of dollars. And there are some advanced strategies that a lot of people don't really know about. It's not really talked a whole lot about. We don't receive a lot of education unless we go and seek it out. So again, Tim Stearns can run that Social Security report and analysis for you, ladies and gentlemen. Give a call, 800-640-2256. And Tim, as I mentioned, sometimes just articles are submitted for our comment or reaction. A recent one from CNBC featured Harvard economist Lawrence Kotlikoff, and he stated that early retirement is one of the worst money mistakes that you can make and will regret. Now, what's your take on this and his perspective on early retirement, Tim?
Well, Lawrence Kotlikoff is basically the expert that we quote in my retirement classes. So he's very well renowned in the circles of Social Security. So when he says something, I definitely take notice. But I will say this, the only contrast to that is that, if I don't have any money and I can't work anymore because of physical or mental abilities are diminished or whatever, if I have to take it at 62, I'm going to have to, right? I mean, to pay my bills. So I get that. But to his point, and like I said earlier, if you have a spouse, you taking it early could definitely diminish what they're going to get in the future too. So those are things that you should be talking to your advisor about. And if your advisor is not able to talk to you about Social Security and how that works, then that's a problem. The interesting thing is, as we've talked about on many shows, you go to Social Security Administration offices, they can't give you advice. It's against the law. So you're kind of stuck with what you know on the internet. I'm happy to say here at TJ Stearns, we're well qualified to give answers, questions, and give advice on when and when not you should be taking your Social Security.
Well, I think that you probably would tell folks that continuing to work and earn a paycheck and receive new income, probably not ever going to be bad for our financial outlook and situation. However, we've got to balance our quality of life and our mental health along with that along the way. But it really, Tim, underlines the importance of having proper balance in our portfolio that changes and evolves with our life's progress as well.
Right. And that all goes into doing a written income plan. And, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but that is the thing that goes into play there, which leads me to the next question or comment that I got. Actually, it's just a comment from one of my clients. We'll call him Michael. The tax man does not make it easy to retire. That is all.
Yeah.
And I tell people this all the time in our retirement classes, which again, we're doing in person, but we're doing them via Zooms, whatever people want to tune into. If they don't want to come into person classroom, then that's fine. But basically we tell them your two biggest bills in retirement is number one, it's going to be taxes. And number two, it'll be your medical costs. Those are things that go in there. So when you're doing an income plan, you can, kind of get to the brass tacks of what that's going to look like. because no one wants to go, oh gosh, I didn't realize that my $1 million really isn't mine. You know, a third of it's going to go to the state and federal taxes. You know, these are things that are part of that we need to talk about. And if you don't do it, you're failing to plan for, you know, something that could definitely be a failure down the road.
Yeah, very, very astute observation by, we're calling him Michael there, that the tax man does not make it easy to retire. Confirmed, Tim, by the number of questions we get specifically on taxes in retirement. Another one, we'll call him John. And this is one we hear about a lot, Tim. Is it wise to move to more tax-friendly states in retirement? Not only do we hear that question, we see people actually doing that. Not all the time do they end up paying less ineffective tax, though.
Right. I mean, we see that a lot. Illinois and California are number 1 and 2 for the most amount of people is moving out of the state. A lot of that has to do with our government running at a deficit, et cetera, just like the federal government is. But the good thing, if you will, in the state of Illinois is right now they don't tax retirement funds. So there is no income state tax on retirement funds. That's actually a pretty good thing. Wisconsin has one, you know, Florida wouldn't at all if you're there over 51% of your time in the United States, right? So there's a lot of different ways to do that, but you're seeing a lot of these states, people are going there because they don't want to deal with the politics that go on here that is running our Cook County taxes, for example, are out of this world. And everyone knows that who's listening.
Oh, plus the weather can make some other places attractive to some. Another question here related to taxes. Tim, I heard you discuss that taxes could be going up over the next several years. At the same time, I will be required to start taking my distributions. Would it be wise to start taking some earlier than required?
And that would lead me to one of the things we talk about in our class all the time in rescue retirement. We look there for, this is the best opportunity in years. State, you know, the federal income tax brackets are lower than they've been in eons. So right now, to take off some of the qualified money you have and make it into a Roth conversion, this is the time. We know what taxes are right now. So this would be the time to do it. You know, you don't want taxes. Every class I ask all the students, you know, where do you think taxes are going? And it doesn't matter what their political affiliations are. They all give me the thumbs up that it's going to go up. So why not, if you know what taxes are now, why don't you accentuate it and take the hit that now, pay on the seed and let it grow like a crop?
And when doing those written income plans, Tim, that you help savers and investors, Chicagoland area planners put together, that often helps to shed some light and really pinpoint where some of these proactive strategies can be to their advantage from not only the financial and the income standpoint, but the tax implications that will also result.
Exactly. And that is in concert with our CPA here. You know, these are things, you know, we just had a guy call in the other day that was in my class, and he said, I just need the name of a good estate attorney. I said, oh, can I ask where your assets are held? Oh, we're very happy with them, which is humorous to me, because if he's so great, why doesn't he have an estate attorney for the client? Why doesn't he have a CPA for the client? You know, et cetera. I mean, the full gamut, you need that to plan retirement a successful retirement.
Well, again, if you have questions, concerns, if you would like to get that comprehensive look at your planning from all of the perspectives that are important, it's a team approach there at TJ Stearns. They can help you look at your plans from an investment standpoint, the risks that you're taking, the fees that you're paying, from a tax standpoint, planning to minimize the taxes that you'll be liable for, making sure that you are doing the best things to control your wealth and leave an impactful legacy. All of those are part of that protect and grow planning review and the written retirement income plan that you can receive just for being a listener to the program, a viewer of the podcast. Give a call now, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. And Tim, if just us talking about the importance of that written retirement income plan is not enough, maybe the additional resource that you provide, that book Income Allocation, can shed some additional light and prove the case for us?
I think the book really spells out how to get retirement done successfully, and it's no different than building a house. You're building a house of retirement. You have to have a good foundation. You have to have these specs and plans and know what things are going to cost. Going through a retirement plan without having those is absolutely mind-numbing to me, that people wouldn't do that. You need to be cognizant of what your real bills are. It's amazing to me when a husband and wife come in to talk to me, and one of them usually doesn't have a clue what's going on as far as what costs are, and they a lot of times that spouse thinks that they're going to be in a lower income bracket, that type of thing. We've joked around here. I tell them, it sounds like the utilities around here, ComEd, NICOR, call you and go, well, congratulations on a great retirement. Our bills to you now are going to be in half because you're not working anymore. The bills don't go down. They just keep coming. And now you're a net seller of assets. How do you make that money last successfully? By having a plan.
And if you'd like to understand how to structure that plan, how the assets need to be positioned, what are some of the greatest risks to your lifestyle, quality of life, and confidence in that lifestyle, and how can you specifically structure the pieces to address those risks? That's what income allocation is all about. And if you are one of the first 10 callers to the program with at least $500,000 saved for retirement, you can request and receive a copy of that Essential Retirement Planning Strategy Guidebook, Income Allocation. Again, the number 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. Now, Tim, it's never too late to plan, but like so many things, we have a better chance of achieving our goals if we do start early. And here's another one from a little bit of a different perspective. This is healthcare related. We had a question submitted. What do you do for health insurance if retiring at 58? Tim, if we start a little early with the goal of retiring early in mind, there are some things that we can do to really address big questions and big expenses like healthcare costs.
Well, one of the things I would tell you, if you can do a high deductible plan, to get pound money into an HSA, health savings account. It's not use it or lose it. To get some money rolling into there is a great idea. And then you make sure, we are health insurance licensed here. So if we have clients that are sitting there going, well, should I take the COBRA or should I not take the COBRA? What do I do once COBRA is over? All those things go into our planning. I mean, you have to have that, because again, that's going to be the second biggest cost of your retirement in most cases.
Another question, I got a raise for my Social Security in 2022, but the bad news, I found IRMA. I'm trying to see if I can make it bump down. I'm trying to see if I can bump it down, as 2020 was the last year I worked. It would seem that it takes forever to get through to a live person that I can actually talk to help provide any answers to consider my request for an exception.
Well, that's difficult. And I don't know if I would want to do that over the phone. There's one not too far from our office in Mount Prospect, and they're all over the place in Chicagoland. I would make an appointment and go see somebody.
Kind of a two-part question here, Tim, is one, what's the proper way to handle it? But maybe the precursor to that is, why is this an issue and what is IRMA? Right.
Well, IRMA is we call it Hurricane Irma, kind of a tongue in cheek, that basically it can ruin your retirement, because what happens is you're making too much money. IRMA will actually reduce. It's a Medicare surcharge on people who make over certain amounts of money. So if the normal run-of-the-mill person has about $20,000 in retirement assets and they're paying about $150, the person who is making a lot of money, or they're looking back 2 years prior, they're going to sit there and see that they're going to charge you a higher amount. It's means tested, which doesn't seem fair, but it's a thing. And that's what the federal government has decided to do.
Tim, flashing back to that question about tax question about taxes and RMDs, required minimum distributions, that actually can force us into higher income places where IRMA becomes an issue. Again, a place where prior planning can help prevent problems down the road.
Right. And how do you get around that? Well, in your 60s, try to put some money into Roth conversions and those types of vehicles that are going to grow tax deferred and tax free. When you pull them out, then maybe you're not going to be subject to IRMA, where you get hit with higher charges because you have a lot of taxable income. If you're pulling it out of a Roth, that won't be taxable.
Again, we're talking with certified financial planner Tim Stearns. If you've got questions or concerns, if you would like to get a written retirement income plan, a protect and grow plan for your assets, your investments, your retirement accounts, pick up the phone and give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. You can speak with a certified financial planner about your situation. That review, that analysis, that strategy session will help to illuminate the fees that you're paying, the risks that you're taking with your current positions in your current accounts, the taxes that you may be liable for as you map out your income roadmap, the order of operations, and answer some of the questions that you may have about your money, as so many obviously do from all that we hear about, from all of the situations and all of the questions that get submitted to the program. If you'd like to sit down for that strategy session, or if you would like a copy of that book, Income Allocation, pick up the phone now, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. At the beginning of the program, we talked a little bit about Social Security. If you would like a specific individual Social Security report and analysis done to help you maximize your Social Security, make an optimized choice and decision on when and how to claim and collect, that's another big part, important piece of the financial aspect of retirement. Give a call. Talk with certified financial planner Tim Stearns, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, this next question here highlights an issue, but not one that does not have a potential solution or highlights the reason why we may do things a certain way. The question, and we'll call her Patty, she stated that my brother retired and has a sizable amount in his retirement. He completed the paperwork to have it transferred and rolled over. Instead, the entire amount was deposited into his checking account. Will he have to pay taxes on this? How does he fix it?
Well, interesting enough, I had a nephew that had this happen. And what he had to do was, well, number one, you have 60 days to put the money back in there. All right. So 60 days back into an IRA, I wouldn't put it back into the plan that it just came from, because they already screwed it up one time. So take it into an IRA. And then if God forbid they withheld money, and this is what happened to him, he basically now had to, for last year, 2021, he had to file and make the amount whole to the penny of what they withheld. And then he went back to the government, and he ended up overpaying taxes, and he'll get a refund. It's a process. And thank God we had Joe here, that's a CPA, and he helped him see it through it, and he's going to get his money back in good order.
Now, Tim, one of the major jobs that you have there as a certified financial planner at TJ Stearns Inc. is to make sure that something like that does not happen, right? Wouldn't want to be
Absolutely.
in that person's shoes. It's not necessarily difficult, nor does it cost us anything if we do it the right way, to consolidate, to clean up those retirement accounts, to take control over those previous employer plans, the 401ks, to do a little house cleaning, maybe bring a few different IRAs together. Rolling them over, bringing them together should not cost us anything, and is typically advised to take control over your money. However, we don't want to make any mistakes there, and that's why oftentimes it's good to work with a professional who is making sure that all of the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, that it's being done the proper way.
Yes, this particular nephew of mine went and did it on his own online, and the company that he was working for did not help him at all, and it ended up being about a $7,000 error. And gladly, going forward, I think he'll use Uncle Tim as a resource.
Well, since you helped him out, got him out of that sticky situation, although for a period he had to come up with the money to make that account whole. Sounds like it could have been a little complex there. Tim, probably the last question we're going to be able to get to in this segment of the program here. After the past several years of saving and market performance, I feel pretty well prepared for retirement. What should I do if I am concerned that we might see a correction in the year or years to come?
Stop losses. That's what I would do. I would talk to your advisor or whatever money manager you're using and ask them if they have a stop loss engaged on your portfolio. It's not what you make, it's what you keep, is what my father used to always say. So make sure that if you've had earned a lot of good dollars over the last 13 years of a bull market that's been a little bit choppy as of late, I would definitely make sure I have some parachutes on my portfolio so that I don't lose everything I've made.
It seems like, Tim, back-to-back fantastic decades in the market don't happen that often. And we saw a great decade in the 90s, and a lot of people probably around 1999 are feeling as a lot of people are today, that, hey, we've made a lot of great progress and I'm ready to retire. But unfortunately, the decade between 2000 and 2010 wasn't the same kind of fantastic results in the market. This last decade, we have seen phenomenal exponential market gains and growth. But Tim, we don't know what the future holds. We never do. And that's why the plan needs to not only be formulated, but change and evolve and be monitored and updated over time. And that's a big part of what you do there for savers and investors and your clients at TJ Stearns, Inc.
Our portfolios and our planning is always dynamic. It needs to change, because your life is not static. Everything's changing by the minute. So you need to make sure your portfolio and your planning is doing that, as well as staying up on what's changing every minute.
Well, many times we can learn from the questions that others have, and that's why on today's program, highlighting a few of those issues that we hear about commonly, and providing a few of the questions themselves that get the conversation started on some of the big topics. We hope that you found value in the conversation, and the value that we truly hope to provide is to have that financial confidence for you by having a plan in place. We believe that everybody can be confident about their money and their financial future, but it takes planning, ladies and gentlemen, and that's why the true value of the program is the time that Certified Financial Planner, CFP Tim Stearns, offers to you on a complimentary, no cost, no obligation basis to get your plan put together, that written retirement income plan, that protect and grow plan for your assets, your investments, and your retirement account. And you can start with the opportunity for further education in those retirement courses and classes, or in the book Income Allocation, which Tim does offer for listeners to the program. You'd like to take advantage of any of those offers and opportunities, pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. Tim, we always appreciate your time and the perspective and guidance you provide to proactive planners and savers here on Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement.
Thanks, Peter.
Tune into Chicagoland Certified Financial Planner Tim Stearns' full radio program on 890 WLS every Sunday at 11 a.m. and visit tjstearns.com for many valuable resources, including other great episodes of Chicagoland Retirement. Be sure to subscribe.
Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs.